Pounders, we are back tonight with the late night stream, and I want to kick this show off with something that I think everyone should know. And these are just going to be little statistics that I think are good for the people to hear. And it's going to be from that QB range from Tua to Goff. But before we jump into it, slap a like on the live stream. If you're new to the channel, you like fantasy football or best ball, I should say, hit subscribe, bell for notifications so you can jump in these live stream drafts with the pound. I'll send out the Discord link in the chat. It's also in the description below. What's going on, guys? What's going on? We also have a free draft guide that's in the Discord. It took me 18 hours to make, and I've been updating it throughout the course of Ball Mania. Completely free for the YouTube subscribers. I'm going to be updating again, probably at 40% fill rate for BBM. This was when it was 18% full. When the schedule was released, was at 6%. That was the first update. So this is the second one. We'll be doing another one soon. I think it's at 24% now. So this is still very relevant of a guide. And let's pull it up. This range here, right? From Tua to Goff. About 20, 30 picks, right? We have Tua. He had 4 top 12 finishes out of 10 starts. I get rid of the games that he was pulled for concussions. I don't think we need half games. We all know that could happen to anybody. Sure, it happens to Tua a little more often than other people. 4 top 12 finishes out of 10 starts. 3 of those top 4 were in the top 3 scoring. Dak had 6 top 12 finishes out of 11 starts, 2 of which were in the top 3 scoring. Kirk Cousins had 9 top 12 finishes out of 17 starts. 1 was in the top 3 scoring. Daniel Jones had 7 top 12 finishes out of 16 starts. 3 were in the top 3 scoring. Geno Smith had 10 top 12 finishes out of 17 starts, 2 of which were in the top 3 scoring. Aaron Rodgers, 2 top 12 finishes out of 17 starts, none in the top 3. And Jared Goff, 6 top 12 finishes out of 17 starts, 4 of which were in top 3 scoring. Now, some of these offenses that are going to improve, right away, Detroit, with the addition of Gibbs, they're going to have Jamison Williams after week 6. And they bring in a rookie pass-catching tight end. Positive things there. Rodgers going to the Jets. Most likely, we will see a bump in top 12 finishes from Rodgers. Going to be a better offense. Not as many rookie woes as there were in Green Bay. We all saw the frustration there, and that wasn't good for anybody. But Geno Smith, who had 10 top 12 finishes, 3 or 2 in the top 3, he gets the addition of a pass catcher running back in Zach Charbonnet. He gets JSN. Pretty damn good value, in my opinion, where Geno's going. He's someone that I'm heavily targeting. Daniel Jones, you bring in Waller. You bring in every other single free agent receiver that's available in the offseason. We'll see who works. But one thing that you can see them doing, the Giants, they're bringing in speed. And speed kills, right? Hopefully speed turns into points. But no matter who you bring in there at receiver, I still think Waller is going to be the dominant number 1 pass catcher there. Kirk Cousins, you get the addition of Addison, right? So you're seeing these offenses improve. Now, Kirk Cousins, 9 top 12 finishes and 17 starts, but only 1 in the top 3 scoring. You kind of see his high floor, low ceiling with those stats right there. Dak, 6 top 12 finishes out of 11 starts, 2 in the top 3 scoring. You see Schultz move on, but now you're getting Gallup another year removed from his knee injury. You get rid of Zeke. Maybe they lean on Dak a little more this season, and we get a season closer to 2021. I'm going to guess it's somewhere in between, but that's good enough for this price point. And then Tua, 4 top 12 finishes, 3 of which were in the top 3 scoring. You don't really need to add anyone there, right? Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, that you do get a pass catching running back, maybe a good playmaker for them in A-Chain. There's potentials about Dalvin Cook as well, but another QB that I'm trying to heavily target. They're in Miami. So I'd be curious, who's on your target list for these QBs? And is it multiple of them? Because I'm really loving Tua. I'm really loving Dak. And then we think about week 17. You have these stats, right? And then you think about week 17. Miami versus Baltimore. Seems beautiful. Dallas versus Detroit. I mean, yeah, I'm in. Kirk Cousins even versus Green Bay. Like, that's a fun game to target. Daniel Jones against the Rams. I think it's sneaky. You don't have to add too many pass catchers because he has the rushing upside there. Geno Smith, Seattle is playing Pittsburgh. Doesn't seem like the best game script from afar, but doesn't mean it can't go off. Easy to stack. Cleveland versus the Jets. People are talking about weather already. I mean, I wouldn't really worry about that. But Jared Goff again versus Dallas. These games are so easy to stack. And these QBs, like, if we're doing cash games, this is the range I'm targeting heavily in cash games. But I still think they have the upside to be targeted in tournament play as well. But let's jump into two Chihuahuas right off the bat, right off the rip. We're going to do two. We're going to set it at 30 likes, and we'll do a second one. All right. Paul says he's out on Dak. Very interesting. Why? Why are we out on Dak? We bring in Brandon Cooks. Another year removed from injury for Gallup in that knee. Yes, Schultz leaves. I don't think that's a big deal. I think they're going to rely more on Dak this year. And let's bring up the second draft. Let's see where we're at. Did it fill? Where is it? Chihuahua starts right here. 3 spot? No, that's this one. I don't see it. It'll pop up. So JJ, Chase, Hill. People have been switching Cup and Hill. I'm fine with it. If you want to balance your exposures, I'm going to want both. I think they both have access to an elite ceiling. I'm not going to be like 15% Cup and 3% Hill. So I've just been balancing these two. Goats, welcome. Dennis, welcome. Paulie. Wow, we got a few pounders in this one. So this will be a nice little draft here. Yeah, we're going to go Hill here. I find it extremely difficult to go Christian McCaffrey at the 3 spot because I want at least Devonta Smith as my wide receiver 1 coming back around. And you can really get locked out in the wrong room. Maybe if I'm doing drafts alone without you guys in here with me, I'll test the waters, but I still sort of like I'll go CMC at 4. I'll go CMC at 5, definitely. But at 3, I think it's difficult. At 4, I still think it could be difficult. Farachi's in this room. KC Connection, welcome. Let's bring in Diggs. We have seen Josh Allen fall back around to this pick 30 pretty damn often, and I'm picking him there every single time, whether I have Diggs or not. I don't care because I know how to use the advantage of the 2 QB. Going to give you an extra roster spot on the back end, and I just think we're able to identify players in these later rounds are going to be able to provide value to our rosters, and if you can do that, going elite QB does give you a big advantage. We see Kelsey go at 8 here in this room. AJ Brown at 5. So I'm guessing this is going to be Devonta Smith and hoping that Jalen Hurts falls at 29. I love doing that. We got a BBM team like that the other day. I think it's a super sharp strategy. These rooms have been extremely light. I don't know if you guys have been drafting the Chihuahuas. Extremely light. Some crazy values have been falling. Jay says Tua will be out with CTE. My God. My God. Andrew, welcome to the live stream, my man. Oleg says, I'll just take whatever I can stack. Daniel Jones is an easy stack, has rushing upside. Yep. That's hilarious. What's going on, my dude? The Candy Man is in the building. The Candy Man. Boo, no BBM. Bride, did you already max these? Let me know. Did you already max this? You're sick if you did. You're sick. Coleman tried to get in. Ooh. Wilson falling to 17s. So strong. So strong. So Mahomes going at 17 here. If these elite QBs do fall back around, it does make that team stronger. I'm not going to overthink this here. We're just going to go Barkley. We're talking about the potential RB1 in the second round at pick 19. I'm sorry. It's too much. It's too much. I will assume the risk in this $4 draft. Although I'll assume the risk in higher stakes drafts too, because he's the upside pick there. Barkley's the upside pick. We can do a couple things here. They have Chase and Jefferson. Higgins off the board. I think that's smart by Dennis. Let's bring in Tony to go with Tyreek. I don't mind getting one of these elite QBs and just going balanced start over here, kind of figuring out correlation later. I don't mind bringing in Stevenson. I don't even mind Derrick Henry, to be honest. I haven't found myself to be able to click DK Metcalf. I think the value's really bad. If you guys have the draft guide, you know the write-up on it that I have in there. Now, in tournament play, value isn't all that matters. Like, we really take a look at their single game ceiling, and DK still has a high single game ceiling. So even if the value isn't the best, and you want to know what? I think he's sort of benefited too. In recent times, with all these other receivers moving up the board ahead of like the Kittles, the Hawkinsons, and just everyone in general for receivers, DK hasn't moved up a whole lot. So in return, that's sort of helping him on the back end. And we're just going to get a falling QB. Mahomes would be different, so I'm definitely hoping that Mahomes falls. He doesn't. Let's go Jalen. I want my exposure to these three elite QBs to be relatively high. I really do. I want it to be 8% plus. It's just such a big advantage. And we're getting closer to the prices that they were last year when we were talking about, oh, wow, they give you such a big advantage. Like, yes. All right, we'll bring in DK here. Now you have Calvin Ridley, who's risen, Jesus, like 16 picks at this point in the offseason? Debo's risen. Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins rose for a little bit, then he dropped. But like Jerry Jeudy now surpassing DeAndre Hopkins. These receivers are still rising, and DK's sort of staying the same. So now I think it's actually not as bad of a pick. Cheers. That's my thoughts on that. I just convinced myself into some DK. Although I do think Tyler Lockett is the better value play, and he still has a high ceiling. How can you go wrong there? Joe in the 12 spot. Welcome to the live stream. Got in a draft with you completely by chance. Looked up your name and saw you were live. Let's go. He might be taking the Giants players based on the icon there. Joey D3. Let's see what he does on way back around. I like this start. I think it's super strong. And this is where the advantage is on the back end of the draft, in my opinion, is going double elite receiver, because on the flip side of the board in the one spot, they're getting a top 3 receiver, but they're also getting an RB1. Very clear RB1, whether it's Stevenson, Henry, Pollard. So if they double click that, you have to kind of figure out how you use the board to your advantage. Amari Cooper, bringing a little Cleveland, New York Jets correlation, week 17. Molo 21 start, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra. Just love that game. I can't get away from that game. Paul start with Bijan, Garrett Wilson, Keenan Allen, Jerry Jeudy. Really nice. Got the Chargers, Denver correlation. These two made us a lot of money in week 18 last year. Keenan Allen finishes the wide receiver 1 overall in a week that didn't matter for, well, at least season long fantasy football. It mattered for our battle royale. Goats with the A.J. Brown, Barkley, Mark Andrews start. I think that's interesting. Balanced start. You see a bunch of receivers go off the board, which is typical. See another receiver go off the board in DJ Moore. We're 2 picks away on both boards. Over here, Seattle. In this range, I'm really thinking, what do I want to do in the round after this? Let's go with falling Najee. I haven't been clicking Najee a lot. And over here, I'm fine with Ayuk. I'm fine with Kirk in this range. If you guys do have the draft guide, that the last post was on the 9th. So about just about 2 weeks ago, we had Ayuk's ADP closer to Christian Kirk. And in that time, in that 2 weeks, Ayuk's risen 8 spots. He rose above Godwin, which I think is correct. I just think he's going to have a higher ceiling and a better offense. And like Godwin, he's going to get a shit ton of targets, but those targets aren't coming from Tom Brady. And the Tom Brady targets were worth a lot more than Trask and a lot more than Baker even. We'll see if we get Ayuk here. This would be a dream, to be honest. If not, we're really going to have to think about it. We could go elite tight end, and then we'll have to select probably 3 receivers in the next 4 rounds, if not 4 of 5 rounds. I just don't like reaching up for Pittman. I'd rather just probably do this, to be honest. Okay, sweet. Really, really nice. Nice. We can pull the correlation later. Really not a big worry. Just want to get few receivers, make sure we're not falling behind, especially in these rooms. Joey brings in Gibbs at the end here. Sweet. Seen Gibbs fall a lot mostly in high stakes though. Like he falls to mid 40s, 47. But his ADPs remained relatively stable. Yeah, I was going to say there's no way London's coming back to us. So we do bring in the Seattle-Pittsburgh correlation here as well with the Najee pick. Get 6 picks at ADP on Najee. It's nice. We'll take that. There's no way. Yeah, I was going to say, there's no way we're getting Mike Williams. I doubt we'll get Ayuk in this room. 2 pounders in front of us, both with 2 receivers. We'll see. A man could dream. A man could dream. My Ayuk exposure is too high, so pick me off of him. Do me a favor, please. Do me a favor. ER7. What went wrong on the board that we got Metcalf? Yeah. We said a little story, and Go back and watch it. This range is kind of doo-doo, but guess what? Let's bring in some Seattle correlation. We're making a bet on DK. I don't mind reaching up a few picks and bringing in that correlation, especially if other people aren't going to do that. We get the double. Obviously, we're going to try to shoot for Geno Smith with this team. I don't think that's a secret. This is a super balanced start. I'm really glad we pulled in 2 receivers here. Otherwise, we could have been shooting flares under an avalanche, peeing into the snow. Could have been rough, but I think we recovered here pretty nicely. You have to go an elite QB and Tony Pollard. I'll rewatch it. Yeah, you don't have to. Pretty much, I said like DK, with his price remaining solid, just his ADP really hasn't moved up, where all the other receivers and the whole board have moved up. I'm now more willing to click DK at his current ADP, especially because I've been kind of low-key fading him. And now if I can get him where other receivers are more expensive, I think it makes a difference in my mind. It makes a difference. Small win. We'll take a small win on that. Oh, Josh TX, also in here. Another pounder, snuck through the cracks. He's sitting at the 6th spot. Went double elite RB. So a little double anchor RB build. And when you do this, like it's tough, but I actually like the way you recover with DK and DeAndre. He brings in an elite tight end, which I think you either have to bring in an elite tight end or go 2 QBs because you're going to need that extra spot at receiver. So I think that makes sense. But yeah, I'm not picking another running back unless it's an extreme value, probably to like round 9, which I love this range, like 102 to 115 for running backs. Fun range. He goes Addison. Dotson off the board. Who are you going to give us? Who are you going to give us, Dennis? Goes Pitts. Let's bring in the Jalen Hurts correlation here with Goddard. I think if we go another tight end by, let's call it Juwan Johnson and up, I think we can stop it too. And you're basically, you just tell yourself a narrative where he finishes as, tight end 4 or 5, and that's good enough to not need to select a third. Or you can add a third. It's so easy to add a third tight end at the end of the draft because it's just more predictable. Those guys are going to be on the field. Tampa Bay, Tennessee. I don't click Mike Evans a ton. We should probably bring him in here. At ADP, there's no screaming values. I don't want to bring in a third running back. Could have talked myself into Kyle Pitts, but let's mix it up. Let's bring in Mike Evans. There's also some New Orleans stacks late, like Shaheed, Juwan Johnson, that we can go. And this team's going to need, we'll see who we get for QBs, but we don't have a lot of correlation with these top guys. So on the board over here, T-Law constantly falling. We have Christian Kirk, but we have Jalen Hurts. So I don't love that. I really don't. I think we can push it one more. Something like this. Let's bring in our second running back here. In BestBall Mania, where they're paying out regular season, I'd be more willing to get a little funky and go not double elite. I guess it is double elite QB. I would need Trevor Lawrence to fall a little more for me to pull him in here at BBM, because I really do think it hurts you, especially for week 17, where only one of them is getting the start. you would just be playing the argument that one advances the other. La-di-da-di-da. Like Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields. It's expensive. It's expensive. I think he's actually doing a pretty good job. Hill, Christian Kirk, and Jahan Dotson might be able to recover, to be honest. I don't mind that. Who do we want our QBs to be? Obviously, we're looking to target. Well, this is an easy pick. This is an easy pick. We already have the Seattle-Pittsburgh correlation. This also brings in Pickett as well. Pass catch and running back. Super easy pick. Up in 11, up in 14. Let's see what everyone's doing here. Is anyone doing anything crazy on this board? We have the one guy going double elite QB. Might be a lunatic. We'll wait and see. Everyone basically has just one tight end, one QB. Okay. Keeping tabs. Keeping tabs. Did I hear New Orleans? Oh, no. Davis, no. 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 Don't even think about it. No, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Daryl, welcome to the live stream. It's been a minute since I caught a live draft. What's going on? We're just having a little fun. A little late night plus EV draft. And these chihuahuas have been pretty nuts. Like I've posted a few of our teams in the Discord in the draft grade section. If you haven't done that, go ahead, join the Discord. Show the pound your drafts, your best drafts, or your worst. We can all kind of throw some laughing emojis on them. These chihuahuas have been super soft. I've just been wishing like that they were my BBM drafts. We're going to try to look for some Arizona correlation. I don't think Connor's going to make it back to us over here. And we really are in a situation where we have to go receiver anyways. So even if he does, that'll be a make or break situation in that board. Got Lawrence at 90 today. Oh, man. Oh. Correlated? Was it correlated or not? It doesn't even matter, to be honest. That's insane value. That's so insane. Trevor Lawrence at 90? Come on. Is it your birthday? McBride, late correlation for Arizona. Ingram. I like those two picks. Especially no one's really clicking Ingram anymore, which I think for pretty good reason, but it's interesting at least. It's interesting. Let's see what they do. All right, we're on the clock here. Davis wants us to click Michael Thomas so bad. And I probably need, I don't care really to go Evan Ingram. I think this is a perfect team to bring in Jameson Williams. Ah, shit. Oh, shit. All right, we're doing it. We're just going to have to play catch up at wide receiver. That's fine. We bring in the bring back for Arizona. We're going to have to play catch up. All right. This lineup could be gross, but this one's going to be pretty strong, I think. We just have to get our QBs pretty much. Now we bring in a little Goff. We have Pickens. We have Geno options. Even Danny Dimes. So we have options in this room here. This could be three tight ends. If I can get 2 middle round QBs that are correlated, I'm comfortable stopping there. Odell Beckham off the board at 95. Whoa. Hot take by RBAT7. Super hot take. Njoku off the board. I don't mind that pick. With Javonte Williams. 4 RBs, 3 wide receivers. This might be the anti-Michael Thomas room. I might be there. This guy reached 16 picks ahead of Michael Thomas. I don't think we'll see. I don't care. I'm probably going one of these two. I can't get boxed out anymore. We need to bring in a receiver. Yeah, that's interesting. Why do you go the guy 16 picks ahead of ADP before? All right, disregard. It's fine. Does this guy have Lamar? No. And that's interesting. The guy that has Joe Burrow passes on Boyd. I'm just confused. These rooms are so soft. Like I said, these rooms have been really, really soft as of late, which is good. It means the app is growing and a little more plus EV for us, perhaps. Tua, Dak. When's our next pick? Our next pick's at 115. Where's the Tyler Lockett team? He has Lamar Jackson. He's probably going Geno Smith at 110. So I'm going to bring in Geno here and see if Danny Dimes comes back instead. We do have the Seattle double and the Pittsburgh bring back. So that is our main focus. I don't think we mess with that. one. I think we just go and get our guy. If Tyler Lockett was on the other side of the board, we would have pushed it. But this guy very easily can go Geno Smith. So there's the reasoning there. 13 picks. We still have to catch up at receiver on this board, which means we can't go another QB till late. We're very strong at RB. Like we're not going RB until like round 16. Let's catch up at receiver here. San Fran versus Washington. Go like a late Curtis Samuel. Yeah, this isn't going to be the most correlated team. This is just going to be basically value and advance. We do have the Philly, Arizona stack, though. Tua, he brings in Rodgers. All right, this team already has 2 QBs. Does the Herbert team bring in? I think we might get Danny Dimes here. I'd be psyched if we get Danny Dimes here. We smash wide receivers. We bring in 2 elite RBs. If we get 2 of these mid-range QBs and they're both correlated, I'll be very happy. This guy's got Dak. We'll see if he... All right. Let's go. Couldn't click that fast enough. I think that was smart that we went Geno with the Tyler Lockett drafter here with only 1 QB. It worked out. And that's why if you're doing 3-4 drafts at a time, there is a small disadvantage. There really is, because you can't keep track of all the boards and there's just too many picks going on and you miss small things like that. Look at this Connect 4 right there. You miss small things, which I like to do 3 at a time because drafting takes so long, right? You can really spend 3-4 hours of your day and it just be 5 drafts. It's like, I'd rather do 2-3 at a time and get those over with in like 2 hours. So I get it, but I do see the flip side of where it could be slightly minus EV. But I know some people that are quantity over quality as well. Gino Bobino, right into the pocket. This team, Zay Jones. I don't love that. This range is brutal, though. This range really is brutal. Literally only going Zay Jones because he's the only receiver in that range. That's And that sucks. But like, I can't go running back here. I don't have any Minnesota correlation. I don't care to bring in like Osborne. Like, we don't have a Green Bay bring back. Plus, we have Jalen Hurts. Like, how many times is Kirk Cousins going to spike into the lineup? At the beginning of the show, we went over that Kirk Cousins only had one top 3 finish last year. So he's a high floor, low ceiling. Now they add Addison, which I think will help him this year, but uncorrelated in this range, it just kind of, it feels like doo-doo. It feels like doo-doo. I think there was a top 3 BBM where it was their only draft. Yeah, he came in second for $1 million. He did a 1 BBM draft. It's insane. It's honestly the most impressive thing that happened. Tight ends, running backs. Or we could be done at receiver. We just don't get to pick another receiver if any fall to us. Let's bring in Chiggy here as our tight end 1. And then we're right back in the gulag over on this board where we're just playing catch up at receiver and it feels bad. All right. We just have to add guys, basically. Spike week guys, which I'm fine with. Zay Jones, I'm fine with Gallup. I would like to add like Alec Pierce, Osborne, maybe Taekwon, DPJ, Rashid. Players like that to spike into this lineup. This is most likely going to be 9 receivers, 2 QBs, 2 tight ends, 5 running backs. Does that math check out? That'd kind of be embarrassing if it didn't. That's the guess. That's the guess. We're at 23 likes. If we get to 30 likes, we're going to pop off another 2 drafts after this one. Dobbs and Khalil Herbert off the board. Jay says draft Gronk plus EV, super plus EV. Here he's on the beach somewhere sipping margaritas. 25 Chihuahuas equal a Dalmatian though. I like the Dalmatians. We did both Dalmatian 1 and 2. We liked our teams a lot for that. Let's check out Paul's doing. Still with the 1 running back for Paul. Definitely known to go 0 RB. In this case, it's going to be a hero running back build with Daniel Jones and Geno Smith like we have in the previous room. Just a different take on it. Now, he might have been sniped on his stacks. My guess is he tried to set up the Cleveland Deshaun Watson here and also had Garrett Wilson for the bring back. So I think he might have got sniped there at first glance. All right. This board, I wouldn't mind Schultes falling back to us. I mean, it's a weird correlated game, correlating both tight ends, but I don't think many people would be doing that. Same bye week, which I don't really care about. This team's going to need 3 tight ends anyways. Super, super strong at receiver. Joey, what's it going to be? You going to give me my guy? He goes Jalen Warren. We can go Schultz here at 139. Double anchor running back build. I think it's fine to go another tight end here. We can stop at 3 pretty comfortably. Even like adding someone like Knox or I'd say Conklin, but by week 7, I mean, I'd prefer if we're going 3 tight ends and not all have the same bye week. I think that's ridiculous. Yeah, Paul said he tried to sneak it through. I think that was the right move. He brings in Zay Flowers to go with Lamar. So maybe he was going. He's likely going Zay Flowers or Bateman. anyways. Who knows? If Elijah Moore's there, he might have taken Elijah Moore. So just sort of never know. So we're caught up here at tight end. Receivers look fantastic. Spike week guys galore. We don't have a ton of correlation with the Rams, but we can go maybe a late, like Zach Evans. Like this is going to be 5-6 running backs on this team because we're not going to need extra receivers here. Probably just add on one more receiver. One more tight end. We'll stay at 2 QBs. I think we have enough upside with the rushing upside with Daniel Jones and Geno Smith, who both spiked into the top 3 a few times last season. Let's see what Faraci and Casey Connection do here before us. And we're up in 1 pick here. Jared Goff falling to 142. It's the trap. It's a trap. Don't do it. Miami, Jacksonville. Probably should have been paying attention a little more to this board. Let's do it. The falling value. We'll bring in Goff here. We do have 2 Dallas players for the correlated game, Detroit versus Dallas, week 17. And we'll just figure it out. We'll just make it work. Maybe a late Laporta, something like that. And we're on the clock over here. We're flying. The Bears are catching up to us. Would have liked Algier there. Would have definitely liked Algier or Singletary. Singletary goes off the board early, though, no? 145 seems early. Yeah, it is. 9 picks. We thought we were good here, but we'll bring in Rashawn. Pretty steady at running back still. And we're up in 1 pick here. Comfortable at running back still. We're done at QB. We're looking to bring in Sam Laporta, pick 166. Do we have an ADP close to that? Right on ADP. I'm not going to select him 12 picks early. I'm sick, but I'm not that sick. I don't mind bringing in Minnesota versus Green Bay. We don't have correlation with any of these games. Let's go Alec Pierce here. Quick check of the exposures. So are we done? Or no, we need one more receiver here. This is the room where we got punished. We got absolutely punished. But that range, just every single receiver was gone. It's just what happens. Like, I'm not reaching up for Odell. We could have gone Michael Thomas there, but we do the bring back with Philly. It's fine. The risks you take. And Michael Thomas can get hurt by week 2 anyways. Just kidding. Just kidding, Davis. I'm just kidding. Oh, my God. Yeah. Paul says, no worries. I always find a way to pivot. We never worried about you in drafts, dude. Never worried about you. I'm just glad you're far away from me at this point. He ends up with Kendre. This is like a running... It's not even a joke at this point. It happens every single time. Anytime Paul and I are in the draft, either he gets Kendre Miller or I get Kendre Miller. That's funny. Paul, a fellow cardio draft, underdog cardio draft player. Should have taken Richardson, Bry H. Always with the Richardson hype since the big board, which can't say you were wrong there, right? Super riser, which we all kind of knew was going to happen. All the way from the 20th round to what? He ended up at like 135, 140 in the big board. And then he rose from there after the draft. And we auto pick here. We auto pick a receiver, I hope. All right. We auto pick Jalen Reed. We're done at receiver. We get caught talking. This is all right. Good. Whew. I thought that's where we wanted to go. Laporta. I would have way rather Juwan Johnson here. We'd be pretty comfortable with Juwan Johnson, to be honest. We get Jaden Reed, Minnesota. No correlation. It's fine. I'm not ultra worried about like all these mini stacks, and yeah, it could be nice, but I'd also rather, instead of forcing a mini stack, taking 2 players I just think are better if that's the case, or a better week 17 matchup. There's no way Laporta makes it to us. There's no way. He has Waller. Goats at like 3 people with 1 tight end. And if he doesn't, I'm fine with going Taysom Hill, to be honest. We're on the clock again. Pat, focus. Pat, focus. Really? We're just going to put off running back this whole draft. I really wanted Juwan Johnson instead of this Jaden Reed pick, and then this probably would have been a Chuba pick or Kenneth Gainwell. I think either one's fine. The auto pick. Auto pick got us, but we're recovering. Yeah, Sam Laporta goes to the team with Waller. A little Dallas correlation as well for a little bonus. And the Dak. It's nice. Good for him. Just, I'm not going Laporta 12 picks early. It's not happening. Jordan Love off the board. I don't mind Taysom. I really don't. But with Taysom, like, let me know in the chat, yes or no. We have 40 people in the live stream. Let's get 40 replies. Are you comfortable with just Goddard and Taysom Hill versus maybe Goddard and Juwan Johnson? Are you comfortable with just staying with 2 tight ends with Goddard and Hill? I'm really not. You draft Hill for those spike weeks, but it's like once every 6 weeks. He's going to give you like 2 or 3 spike weeks. After that, he's going to give you a lot of 0s and 1s. And so if we do go another tight end here, we're still strong at. Let's back ourselves in a corner, see if we can get out of it. We're going to go 3 tight ends here. I just think Knox is the best value in that situation as well. Who's going to be able to provide us more points? Then we're up in 18 picks. We still need a receiver. This room of receivers is not amazing, but we're strong everywhere else. And I think it could work. We have some floor guys. We have some spike week guys. That Jaden Reed auto's max pain for this room, to be honest. We're done at receiver. We basically just are drafting running backs, right? 3 running backs to end this. 3 or 2. Done at tight end for sure. Receiver, like, I think we have enough depth at receiver. I hate the Jaden Reed pick, especially with JMO, who's not going to be playing for the first 6 weeks due to the suspension. You already have 1 rookie. You basically, I'd rather this be freaking anybody. Tim Patrick, Westbrook Ikline, whatever his name is. It sucks, but I have to do it. I know the bye weeks. I have to do it anyways. 2 more running backs over here. 2 more running backs. and this team's done. Not Cordell. People are clicking Cordell Patterson. He's going to have a role, said the team. But what kind of role? We have Barkley. We're not going Eric Gray. I do think Eric Gray is a little interesting if you don't have Barkley. Like, shit. This definitely should have been like Paris Campbell, Hodgins, Wandell Robinson, Max Payne. But we move on. How many likes do we have on the live stream? We get another draft going if we can hit 30, and we're at 34. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys a lot. Joey, what's Joey been up to? Added J.K. Dobbins, Trevor Lawrence, DeAndre Swift, Rashad White, Pat Fryermuth, Alan Lazard, Kincaid, Thielen, KJ. Isaiah Hodgins at 157 is a hot take. That's a hot take. Was that an auto? And I missed it. Yeah, Peng says need 3. I agree. Just because it's Hill. Just because it's Taysom Hill. We end up with Knox on both sides of the board. He is one of my highest drafted players too. Just this range is, I don't care. He has touchdown upside. It's one of the higher paid tight ends. Five picks away on the clock over here. First pick. Let's get away from the Chase Brown. Can't go tie. Let's bring in Pierre Strong here. Bring in a little Patriots Buffalo week 17 correlation, little mini. Can't believe this Jaden Reed auto pick. That's going to make me mad for the rest of the night. Oh, man. All right. Let's spice this up. If we get to 45 likes before those drafts end, I have a shot of Jaeger, like cold brew upstairs. I'll do the Jaeger cold brew shot before our next 2 drafts. We get to 45 before these end. 45 likes. Khalil Shakur, one of my favorite clicks late. Getting some positive news out of OTAs, and they did get him involved more last year. Now, you saw them bring in Cole Beasley towards the end of the season. Not a great sign. I'll tell you that. Not a great sign. But do we think Cole Beasley's coming back again this year? I mean, he did pretty good. He did pretty good for Buffalo for what games he played, but I think Shakir makes a small jump. And in this range on Buffalo's offense, small jump is all you need. And I think either one of these picks are good. Let's go Carolina for a little correlation with Jacksonville, I believe, right? Week 17. Just made myself an old-fashioned Candyman. Jump on the live stream. Send you the link. As a Giants fan, Hodgins, ADP is too low. He's our wide receiver 1, a steal late. Just signed so many people in the offseason. And if anyone's going to be number 1, I mean, I think we can both agree it's probably Waller. But is the Paris Campbell fog about him like playing running back and he's going to be like Debo? I don't know. It seems like there's a little fog in the air with that. Beat reporters get people hyped fast. Do we have 2 picks here? We do have 2 picks. Honestly, could probably stop at 5 RBs here, which means this could be it's the wrong team. I thought that was the Danny Dimes team. Max Payne. Could we I'm fine with going to Israel Banakanda. Trying to think, like, could we stop at 5 RBs here? I think you can. You're heavily relying on Barkley and Najee. And if you're drafting like you're right, maybe Pierre Strong gets a bigger role his second year. Gus Edwards, another year removed from injury. They don't really add anyone of substance to Baltimore's backfield. Rashawn Johnson, you're basically hoping him to work out a pretty sizable role. So I think we could go 5 running backs here and add like Tim Patrick, who at least will have a little bit of touchdown upside. Dude is absolutely enormous. I think he's 6'5", Tim Patrick. Yeah, he had the ACL tear, but I think that team's fine. It could have been better without that auto pick. We're at 40. 5 likes away, and we'll get the shot of Jaeger. Jaeger cold brew for the next 2 drafts. Quez Watkins, pick 197. Digging deep into the tank for that one. Digging deep into the tank. Little Philly correlation. Doesn't have Jalen Hurts. I think it's interesting. Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson for Josh. Sam Darnold, not seeing any San Fran players though. CMC. The elite, double elite RB start. It's tough. It's tough to recover from. It really is. Paul with the 0 RB start. Gets Kendre, not 0 RB start. Hero RB start. Gets Kendre, Jerick McKinnon, Devin Singletary. I think he's recovering really nice. Receivers are strong. Could be finished with these 7. Most likely done at tight end. Or is he going for late? I think he's done, to be honest. I hate the 4 tight end builds myself. 43 likes, 2 likes away. And I'm taking a shot of Jaeger cold brew. I got it at a charity hockey game. It's just been sitting in the fridge. 2 likes away, I will take the shot at Jaeger cold brew before the next 2 drafts. I didn't think we had enough people in here to get that. I'm not going to lie. I thought I was pretty safe. Now I'm hot. Now I'm starting to sweat. All right. Man of my word. 1 like away though. Oh man. All right. I'll go grab it. Yikes. That backfired quickly. Paul goes Ty Chandler, Pierre Strong with his last 2 picks. I love those clicks. I like the 3 tight ends. Big fan, Juwan Johnson. I'm not as worried. People bring up the Foster Moreau thing. Really not as worried about that. Taysom Hill, little rumblings out of camp that they want him to catch more passes. He's going to see snaps as running back, QB, you name it. Goats, still looking to pick up his second tight end, I assume. Yeah, and we're just adding a receiver here. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's go Josh Reynolds for the Detroit correlation in this Dallas. We got a little Dallas double. We missed on Laporta by 2 picks. I probably would have stopped. That's the thing. Like, I think you can stop with Goddard and Knox, but when we go Goddard and Taysom Hill, I just don't feel comfortable with those 2 for some reason. All right, let me go grab that shot of Jaeger. You guys are sick. You guys 46. Like, I can't believe you guys hit that. All right. I'll be right back. We're going to jump into another 2 drafts, so warm up your fingers. I'll be right back. Oh, the stomach's already getting warm. It's so hot. I might have to take off the sweatshirt. Has anyone had this before? I might throw up on the live stream. I might literally puke on the live stream. Has anyone? Of course. Jaeger cold brew. Jaeger cold brew. There's no way there's actual cold brew in here, right? I'm gonna be up all night. It's tasty. Okay. Bri H has had it before. I'm feeling a little better about that. It's tasty. Jaeger cold brew down the hatch. 45 likes. Appreciate you guys. We're gonna get another 2 drafts going after this. Okay. Definitely Jaeger. A hint of coffee, maybe? I don't know. I don't know if I like it yet. I think it was all right. All right. We're gonna jump into 2 more, and we're just gonna kind of process what just happened. Jaeger cold brew. Maybe we get a sponsorship out of this. Probably not. No, I don't. That would even benefit me. What would we get? Like free Jaeger? Shake it? No. See, no. That's a trick. I know a trick when I see one. Farachi with the flex. Oh, and we get rewarded with the Influencer 101. And let's see this one. Is this the same room? We're in 2. We got Hamlin Motorsports. Welcome. Our bat was in the last one. Wonder if he is sneaking around in the live stream. Farachi and Casey Connection, draft neighbors for the 2nd draft in a row. What's going on, my guys? What's going on? Start. What's this Chow Chow draft looking like? Is the Chow Chow better than my last draft? It's got to be. This Chow Chow slow. We have Mahomes and Derek Carr at QB, Henry, Etienne, AJ Dillon, Kamara, 21 picks after ADP. That feels good. The Mahomes chase start with Ayuk, Dotson, Pickens, Sky Moore, KJ Osborne, MVS, Tim Patrick, Ingram, and Knox. This draft's going really good. We're on the board. We have a ton of chase because we've been going chase from the 1 spot. We're going to try to bring up the JJ exposure. I think that's the right move to do there. Did we jump into? Yeah, we did. Here it is. Here's the 2nd room. Goats Cards gets the 1 spot in this room. We're going to get one of these elite receivers. Ueno. In the 11th spot might be a pounder. The name looks familiar, but we don't get a lot of pounders in this draft. We might have lucked out. We might actually get the players we want, which, sorry, but that usually is better for me. You were going to puke. Yeah, I haven't sipped my beer yet because I'm worried about that. You need the streamer mini fridge stocked with it. I would take a Jaeger fridge. I think that'd be sick. Or like a little Red Bull fridge. I've looked it up. Not for the live stream, but just for myself. For the man cave. For the man cave flex. A little Red Bull mini fridge would be sick. So we luck out with the 1 spot, and then we get Cup at 5, which is fine. So we'll see how these 2 draft rooms go. Bijan at 7. Very interesting. Another thing we could have done here, like if we were stuck with CMC, sure, we can go CMC here, but I'm actually been testing pulling AJ Brown, getting Smith at 20 and trying to get Hurts to fall. Every now and then you can get it to work. In these $4 drafts where you only, that's 25 entries. It's not like it's 3, or you can try it a couple times. 5, 6 spot. Typically the best success. Just because Devonta Smith goes off the board at 20, and he's the hardest one to fall. So like if you're doing it in the 4 spot where you're dragging AJ Brown to the 4, you're trying to get him at 21, you're likely getting sniped. Back end is pissing yellow, which is typical. See CD and Devonta Adams, Garrett Wilson, and a slight reach up for Waddle over Amon-Ra. Maybe a little different there. Diggs and Amon-Ra. That is nice. Holy, you don't see that a lot. Diggs and Amon-Ra. Because Amon-Ra's ADP is what, 14? $13.8. And Diggs usually goes at 7. That's a pretty unique start. Mahomes goes at 18. I think this is a mistake. I get it. I get why people are doing it, but I think it's a mistake because of like in the same draft where Mahomes goes 18, you'll see Josh Allen go with 30. It's like you're getting 11 picks of value on Josh Allen. That's a huge disadvantage for the Mahomes team. 2 out of 12 teams advance in this too. So that will significantly hurt your advance rates, in my opinion, if you're consistently doing that and the QBs are coming off at or after ADP. Like this room, people aren't as high on the elite 3. And you see the other elite QBs fall, which is bad for this team. What do we want to do? Let's you see people go Stevenson, Josh Allen all the time. You see people double click. Let's mix it up. Let's go another elite QB build here. I do like the Pollard Stevenson click, but this is the same price as Josh Allen was last year when everyone was like, oh man, it's such a big advantage to have an elite QB. It is, and it's good for advance rates as well through the playoffs. And we're back to that same point as we were last season. Whereas on the big board, they were going 16, 17, 18, 19. Like the ADPs were very close. And then these wide receivers trickled in front, along with every other wide receiver on the whole board. Mark Andrews goes. I think it's interesting. So I think we did in one of our Dalmatian 101s, the $100 drafts, we did Hill at 3, and we do make a small reach for Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson, where it might seem negative EV, and it probably is a little bit, but the advance rates are 4 out of those 12 teams are advancing. And you get the Hill bring back in that week 17 matchup. So you do get uniqueness by doing something like that, but it's 4 teams out of 12 advance versus like this is 2 out of 12. You just want to put as many teams forward as possible. If we get Stevenson here, I'd be stoked. Be stoked. Let's go. Let's go. Falling Ramondre to go with Kupp and Smith. More shots. I have one. I shouldn't tell you this. I have one more in that fridge. Hey, I thought the name looked familiar. That's cool. I'll have to play the song. I do a little wheezing myself. I do have one more shot in the fridge. How many likes would I need to take that shot? It would be a lot. It'd be a lot. We're melting. We're on fire. We're absolutely on fire right now. All right. We're at 50. We're already past 45. How does that? Facey Dysfunctional, welcome to the live stream, my dude. If you guys haven't already, you want to either support the channel or you're looking for a good redraft league, the Founders Pounders Patreon League has 4 spots open left in it. And it's going to be the same. I'm hoping it's the same people every single year, grandfathered in. 4 spots if that interests you. There's other benefits too. Get to see our exposures, different Discord channel. Ramondre Stevenson, Cup, and Smith. Love that start. Josh Allen, Tony Pollard, Jefferson. We are off to the races. We didn't set, I would say 65 likes. 65 likes, and we will, and we'll take that other shot of Jaeger. The Jaeger cold brew. I'm going to be up all night, which means I'm going to be drafting with you guys off stream in the Discord. Let me link it. Let me link the Discord. Invite people. This is where we all hang out in the off time. In that Discord, Joe, you could also find the Patreon there, or you could find it in the description for this video as well. 48 and 49. I contacted Trophy Smack trying to get a sick trophy, which would just be probably somewhere here in the live stream or something. That'll be for the Founders League. Stevenson, Cup, Smith. So we got Giants, Arizona, and Buffalo, which I don't really care about right now because that doesn't do anything for us. DJ Moore, if he was still there, I would try to go for the Justin Fields, DJ Moore Stackarooski. Money bags, what's it going to be? Who do we have in between us? We have a shit ton of people in between us. So I think we have to bring in another receiver, like one of these 4, because they could all get wiped off the board and we're sad and we're crying. We're not happy. Let's bring in DeAndre Hopkins, potential to go to New England, paired up with Stevenson, a couple picks after ADP, Stevenson, a couple picks after ADP, start to see the uniqueness. And we need receivers over here. Shit, dude. They reach up and get Ayuk. That's what you get in the draft guide, which is free for YouTube subscribers. Okay. In Gibbs, a falling Gibbs, 7-8 picks. Playing Dallas, week 17. It makes too much sense. It makes too much sense. Hamlin Motorsports reaches up and grabs Ayuk. Good man. Good man. Good man. The Ayuk write-up from 2 weeks ago. Brandon Ayuk sneakily finishes as wide receiver 15 overall, but is drafted as the 30th wide receiver off the board. There are going to be question marks at QB in the offseason, but I project this offense to be dominant again next year. I have Ayuk ranked closer to Christian Kirk's ADP. Why did it change so fast? That's back when his ADP was like 61. 2 weeks. I think it might have to do with Purdy. Personally, I think it has to do with Purdy. Yeah, this is why we go receiver here with this Hopkins pick, because you sickos just leave no one left for us, which is expected. Where'd these QBs go? They went off basically at ADP. We're bringing in Fields 5 picks after ADP. I don't care that it's not correlated. You saw the guy run for his life last year. That's exactly what I want this year. Let's bring in Fields, 5 picks after ADP. We can correlate him with Cole Kmet. You can correlate him with Khalil Herbert, Sean Johnson. Who else? Mooney. And we're good. Claypool, probably not. There's some cloudy waters there with Claypool. We're at 52. What I set it to, 65 likes. And we'll take the second shot of Jaeger cold brew. Well, Goat says 65 likes with 48 people watching, but it's new people coming in. And we have how long? We have rounds and rounds and rounds. We have rounds and rounds. Wow, Ghost Card says Ayuk over Debo. Now there's a hot take. Now we're getting spicy. Love that. Now we're getting spicy. Hell yeah. Now, I don't think I could do that myself. I blame you. There's no way, right? There's no way we influence that ADP that much, right? Small channel, free draft guide, but small channel. I did a BBM4 earlier and took CMC, Ramondre, and Jacobs with the first 3 pick. I did not take another RB the rest of the way. Have you seen any success from 3 RB builds before? Typically, I'd stop at 4. It's just so tough because the spike weeks for these receivers, the early receivers, make up the majority of the spike weeks for the rest of the receivers. So there's a bigger fall off at receiver, especially late, right? When we think about these late receivers, they're ending up as like the wide receiver 3 or 4 on the team. And if someone gets hurt in front of them, they don't always see a huge boost. Like think of Devin Duvernay last year when Bateman went down, when Mark Andrews was hurt. You're like, oh man, I got a wide receiver 1. Well, not wide receiver 1, but 1 on their team. It didn't make him better. It didn't get him open, right? So those running backs have more upside late. One sec. Let's make this big. Because all they need is an injury, right? One injury in front of them and they're getting the touches, especially later into the season. That's where the upside lies. Treylon Burks here against Houston. I think this is fine. And if DeAndre Hopkins ends up in Tennessee, maybe we pull in a late Tannehill. Pretty sick. That'd be pretty sick. See, that's what the Jaeger shot does. You guys forced me to take a Jaeger shot. And now we're thinking about crazy stacks on the back end on trades and not trades. He's released. But on signings that haven't happened yet. I'm in a different element right now. This isn't good for anybody. Josh Allen. And let's add. I think Arbat, there's a chance he's in the live stream. So we're not going to comment until he's done. Elijah Moore reaching up. Way up for Elijah Moore. Can't go. We're basically like this. And one of them's Gabe Davis, right? So Gabe Davis and let's go Gabe Davis and Dotson here. This is elite. 3 bye week 13 guys. I don't want to hear it in the chat. All right. I don't want to hear it. Not ideal. Don't care. Trevor Lawrence, his ADP is not settled, right? Like we can all agree that we see Lawrence fall in what percent of drafts? Like 75%? 3 out of every 4? I do like the Kyle Pitts pick. That is who I had eyed. Let's do something funky. Let's do something funky. There's so many ways to correlate Trevor Lawrence on the back end. We do bring a little stabilization for Justin Fields. I think this is a strong pairing, both after ADP. Let's do something funky. I just don't love bringing in Swift here. I don't love bringing in Tony. I like Waller, but Waller 1 pick after Pitts and Goddard, I don't know. I think you start to lose a little bit of that advantage of the Waller pick. I was seeing if we could go Elijah Moore, Deshaun, and see if we can get the other on the back end, but I don't think that was going to happen. So we can bring in like Ingram on the way back around. You can go Zay Jones. You can bring in Tank Bigsby. I think those are all interesting ways to correlate Trevor Lawrence that a lot of people aren't doing. They're taking the typical Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk. So Pete and Corain took 3 QBs week 7 buys last night. Oh my God. Did they realize afterwards? Because that's friggin' hilarious. DNB drafting while drunk DWD. I like it. I like it. Nine picks. Up in 9, up in 8. We're doing good. We're doing good. We can catch up on the chat. The bye week bros will come for you. That's true. That is true. They're already outside. Jaeger makes you more confident. I feel like that would be like captains. Your foot on the barrel. Yes, afterwards. That's the best. I love that. I love that news. 60 likes equals a BBM draft and a shot. The worst part is, though, it's a shot of Jaeger with cold brew. Can someone confirm, is there actual cold brew in that Jaeger cold brew? I mean, it says cold brew on the outside. So if it's not cold brew, I'm going to sue him first. And second off, I'm going to be happy. Not because I sued him, but because I'm not going to be up all night. I'm starting to think there's cold brew in it. Just by the way I'm talking. All right. Josh Allen, Tony Pollard, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jefferson, DJ Moore, Gabe Davis, Jahan Dotson. I think we caught up at receiver. If we don't double tap receiver here, I likely hate myself going into this range. I think having 4 receivers, it opens you up for this Jameson Williams pick. If we want to go that route, it doesn't hurt as much with the 6-week, his 6-week bye from suspension. Brings in White. I'm very cool with going Connor here. Yes, we're likely going to miss on these receivers, right? I don't expect those to return to us. I'm going Connor here. I'm going to risk that no one wants Evan Ingram because I wouldn't want a naked Evan Ingram. I have Njoku ranked over Ingram personally. And now I'm feeling more confident about that the Hopkins news is kind of dwindled in Cleveland. He has the 2 offers, one from New England, one from Tennessee. This range is just a ball of fun, huh? This is just, man of my word. Let's bring in the correlation here with Buffalo. Tyler Boyd. I could just pass in this range and be okay with it, personally. Jacksonville is playing Pittsburgh. Yeah, so we don't have any correlation with either one, so I think it's fine. I like tight end in this range. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'd much rather bring in my first tight end in Njoku or even Ingram over reaching for Tyler Boyd as my 5th receiver. Wow, so we do get Ingram on the way back around. Huge brain play. Little 5 pick after ADP. Nothing crazy. We don't have who are they playing? Are they playing Carolina or Pittsburgh? Oh my God. The Jaeger is winning. The Jaeger's winning. Jacksonville plays Carolina. Pittsburgh versus who? It's Seattle. That's who it is. So many week 17 matchups just dancing in my head. Oh, it's cold brew flavor. Ugh. 1 milligram of caffeine. I'm like a little kid though, so it's all set. It affects me like a little kid. Caffeine equals more drafts. It's a win-win. Now you're thinking. Goats. Goats with the big brain plays. Let's see. Tua Tagovailoa. Let's bring up. If you guys missed the beginning of the show too, we went over this whole mid-range of QBs. I would highly recommend going back and watching that after it's posted. And if you're doing that anyways, post a comment. The comments help so much. It's crazy. It's crazy. The YouTube algorithm's harder to friggin' beat than BestBall Mania, I swear. Super balanced build over here. And we're strong at QB. We're strong at RB. Wide receivers, obviously, we need to catch up, but still pretty strong. These are my favorite types of drafts because if any value falls to you, I mean, besides a QB, because we can't take a QB, we're done. If any value falls to you, you can just scoop it. And then same thing over here. Do we have basically the same build? This is how I draft. And this is how I had a 36% advance rate last year. Just ready to scoop the value. I'm a huge spoon. Especially when it's correlated or if it's like my guys that are falling. That's when you can get in trouble. If you're in a position where you can't select that position or you shouldn't, but it's one of your guys, so you have to do it anyways and just hope it works out. Those are always fun. Man. Badgeless money bags and badgeless AD Sky. They could do anything right here. They could do anything. A-Chain, gone. Up in 8 picks over here. Like, there's no way, right? There's no way he selects my guy. Like, there's no chance. There's so many people on the board. I guess we have 2 players we can go. If we do get sniped, just one hurts more. He's AFK. He's not even there. Let's go. We bring in Mooney over here with the field stack of Ruski. We feel good about it. I think Mooney could be a riser if we get a little positive news from OTAs with his injury. We see Juju starting to slide because of negative news with an injury. So this is how ADPs sort of go up and down just based off news from these beat reporters. When's the cocaine draft? Jesus. Carlos says, I just barely started to memorize week 17 matchups. Took me forever to unlearn last season's week 17. Savage. Absolute savage. Over here, we're double clicking. Honestly, don't mind this. But we did go Josh Allen, same bye week. I do mind that. I did that earlier today, and I'm not ready to do it twice in one day. I think it's fine. It is stacked. Dude, how does every receiver of ours have a bye week 13? What is happening? And then I can't even click Mooney. I can't even do it if I wanted to. All right. Just get me out of this range. I'm not clicking Dubes. Get me out of this range. We'll go with Corley Kincaid. I'm going to try stopping at these 2 tight ends. What is happening? I have 5 receivers and 4 of them have the same bye week. All right. I guess it was bound to happen at some point. I've never seen that. We can go with correlated Chicago. I don't hate it. I don't necessarily love it, but I don't hate it. That's like, I'm pretty much done with Chicago. I don't want to have more than like 2 pass catchers. Khalil Herbert, like he is at risk to lose the third down work to Rashawn Johnson. That's crazy. I actually just realized I'm having a bad time with week 13 bye in mine. What, Drew, what draft pick are you? Is Drew in your name? Do we see a Drewski? I don't know if we could have another Drew. Like, we already have one Drew. If TB Bucks, little shout out for TB Bucks, Drewski. I have Fields and Cousins as my QBs. I realized after they're both by week 13. It happens. It really does. Oweno in the live stream also has the goat horns. Not as big as our goat horns, but he has goat horns on. Eckler, Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen, Judy, Pittman, Kittle, David Montgomery, brings in Richardson to pair with Pittman, Lazard, Washington, Brian Robinson, Jared Goff. Curious if he stops here at these 2 QBs, you would have a pretty good floor with Goff and the big question mark of upside with Anthony Richardson, just a specimen of health, absolute freak athlete. We'll lower it. We'll lower it to 60 likes. If we get to 60 likes, we'll take that last shot of Jaeger Cold Brew. Oh, shit. We're definitely on the clock somewhere. No? We're good. Paranoia. Getting delayed notifications on my phone. Hate that. Carlos says, anyone notice there aren't any week 12 buys? Any reason why that is? Not entirely sure. I'm sure you could find it on the internets, though. Google is always right. I'm pick one. Oh, okay, you're not in this one. All right, fair. Turn up. Okay. I mean, I don't think we're at 56. Oh, Jesus. I underestimated. I may have underestimated. So we get a double tap receiver in this room, right? Do we have 5? We have 5. What sucks is they really can't have a bye week 13. Like, I'm not a big warrior of bye weeks, but like that's getting to be a problem. When's my next pick in this room? 149. Let's bring in Tank. I think it's a good spot to bring in a rookie running back. It's also correlated with Trevor Lawrence. We get the Ingram. I think we have to do that. Not have to, but I think it makes sense, let's say. Sure, we also could have gone for... I don't know. I was going to say Jalen Warren, but I do not like that pick nearly as much. Double tapping. Oh, man. I'd really like to bring in KJ Osborne here too, which blows. Kendra Miller. We can go Kendra here. Las Vegas, New Orleans. Let's bring in Alec Pierce. When's our next pick? Our next pick is at 168. Make sure this isn't 5 picks away. 168. Such a gross range. We're going to have 3 receivers that don't have a bye week 13. What the fuck? How unlucky is that? Tony Pollard, Gibbs, James Cook, Kendry Miller. I like the way the RB room's shaping up. Njoku and Kincaid. We're going to stop here with these two. Of course, even our second tight end has a bye week 13. One of our running backs, because it's Buffalo. That's fine. It's fine. So this is probably going to have to be an 8 wide receiver build anyways. And it can be late. I don't mind if it's a late 2 with the group that I have. Justin Fields. Let's bring in Komet. Maybe one helps advance the other. I don't love it. This would be more of a bet on the entire offense than it would. Let's go Pierce. I'm talking myself out of it. Week 17, I do think there is a small hit of upside when you go Justin Fields. Now, tight ends have a lower threshold for success. Like, they don't have to score as much as a receiver for it to be worth it, or for them to even have a huge impact on your roster, especially week 17 or in the playoffs. Like, I had 5 teams make it to the finals last year. 2 of those teams had Tyler Higbee, like paired with like Baker Mayfield, who was traded mid-season. So a little random correlation that we lucked into there. But when a tight end scores 20 points, it really gives you a huge advantage. I think Alec Pierce here makes sense. I can't get away from the Alec Pierce click anyways. I have slowed down. I have pivoted. But on the way back around, if we don't go receiver here at 164, I think Shaheed's going to be gone. And then this range starts to get a little more muddy. So I'd rather just get my 6th wide receiver than bring in my 2nd tight end. We can find value at tight end later. That's sort of my thoughts. Why I go receiver there over Komet. Now, if Shaheed comes back to us, yeah, maybe we made a small mistake, micro mistake, but hindsight's 2020. We've done 400 drafts, so I think we've seen just about everything at this point. NFL doesn't like buys on Thanksgiving week, so the NFL decided not to have buys on Thanksgiving week. Thank you, Google. Thank you, Google. No. That's hilarious. Yes. Instead of like cycling through the teams, like you get it this year, you get it the next year, no one can be with their families. Oh, man. I just got hot. All right. So Shaheed doesn't make it back to us. So I do like how we went Alec Pierce there instead. It works out. We're done at QB. RBs are looking good. Yes. I'd like to bring in a receiver here. Not in a super rush to go tight end in this range. Maybe if Higbee falls, though. We'll go Higbee. Little LA Rams correlation. This guy's been auto draft this whole time, hasn't he? Nope. This was before ADP. I feel like Sam Laporta fits in every build. But we have the Tennessee correlation here. We might have a Tennessee double with Hopkins and Burks. Let's go Singletary. And we're done at running back. Likely done. We're likely done at running back. Double tapping over here. Oh, man. Really wanted a little, like either Taekwon or Rashid Shaheed to fall to us. Hodgins even off the board. Hodgins had a bye week of what? 13. Couldn't go him anyways. Get him out of here. Curtis Samuel gone. Our bad. Don't do it, man. Don't do it, man. You don't need him. Oh, and he's got Deshaun Watson. He's gone. He's gone. Just RIP to that. bring in a little New York Giants Rams correlation, or we can go Knox, Buffalo, New England, Knox. Let's do this. I have so much Knox. Okay. He goes Paris Campbell at 167. Nice pick. Josh Allen. Can we correlate any of these QBs? Washington, Jimmy G. I love the Juwan Johnson pick here. I'm so mad I have a second tight end right now. Let's go Tajay. 3 rookies, but I really don't count Gibbs as much because we're assuming just from his draft capital that he's going to have a large role in his offense. And we saw Khalil Herbert take over the workload from David Montgomery last year. And they released Montgomery. I think this is probably an upside pick for the end of the season. He'll likely still start. Rookies start slow. 1, 2, 3. We still only have 3 receivers. Did I count that right? Damn, we only have 3 receivers without bye week 13. And we can't go Shakir. Who's one of my guys? Wandell, who I don't mind a late Wandell Robinson. Like pick 182, and he's a common faller, which you have to take that into consideration. Like I'm not really picking him at ADP, but he's someone that might be a riser. If we can get positive information about his injury, he would be a riser. But even then, if you don't need him for the early portion of the season, you're just playing for the playoffs, I think it makes sense. In cash games, I'm probably not clicking him. Lower to 60 was already 60. I thought I had it at 65. Oh, God. We're 2 likes away, and we will get out another shot of Jaeger Cold Brew. It's my last one. Got him for free at a charity hockey event. Oh, no. Oh, we're going to hit it. I'm kind of sad. I should have kept it at 65. Now we're clicking random things. Don't be a bye week, bro. Well, the thing is, like, I'm still getting my guys. Is this the bye week, bro team? No, this is just the good team. Jaceki. What's happening over here? RB could be done. QB could be done. Receivers, we want to bring in likely 1 receiver, but 1 tight end. I'm making an absolute enormous reach right now because I don't know what to pick. That was just an absolute out of my element pick, which is fine. We still get some New England correlation with it. What's funny is DeAndre Hopkins can go to Tennessee or New England, and we get some good correlation with the picks. We're fluid. We're keeping it fluid. Jaceki, I can't click Jaceki. I still think Hunter Henry's going to be the red zone guy. He led New England in red zone targets last season. He's the second highest paid tight end in the league. For those reasons, I am Hunter Henry over Jaceki. I was either going to reach on a receiver here or tight end, so it didn't really matter to me. I'm just sort of clicking my guys at this point in this range. Could have gone Paris Campbell to mix it up, but I have other guys that I'd prefer late. Yeah, you can easily stack the Buffalo New England game. It was crazy. I had a really, really strong lineup that I posted in the Discord. If you guys aren't already part of that, the link's in the description. I got sniped on Devontae Parker at a Buffalo double stack. I was just going late round receiver. I was strong everywhere else, so it was just a luxury pick. And someone sniped me on Devontae Parker. I'm like, this guy doesn't even get drafted 99% of the time. And the one time I have him queued up, I'm like, there's someone missing from my queue. Like, there's no way it's Parker. It's probably the other two. So I end up getting like Slayton 15 picks after ADP. We can go Paris Campbell here. I don't have a ton of him. We have the correlation with the LA Rams game. I don't think it's too egregious. I don't love it. Shakir. I need one more receiver here. And a QB potentially. This is sort of what it's looking like. Like, I have been clicking Tim Patrick over Paris Campbell, and I don't really want to stop. We don't have any San Fran correlation here. Bye week 14, different bye week. It's fine. We have one more pick here. It's probably going to be a running back. I don't even care if it's a dusty running back. I'm going to try to stay away from the rookies. I don't love Carter, though. We saw Carter lose snaps to Zonovan Knight last season. And I couldn't believe how many people were clicking Carter in the big board and how many people on Twitter were like, oh, yeah, Michael Carter. It's like, were we watching the same games? I'd like to get one of these three. We'll put Zamir White in there as well. And then this team's done. I feel good about this team. We don't have the New England bring back, which I don't think is really a necessity. There's a chance that Buffalo just smokes New England without anyone really spiking into the lineup, into the winning lineup, I should say. And one pick left over here. Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. I never go too early QBs like this. And this is like the earliest I would do it. We're likely to get a spike week from one of these running backs over receiver. I like the Zamir White pick too. Like, I have to start mixing Zamir White in there more, especially with the uncertainty with Josh Jacobs and the shit that he's been tweeting out. All right, we'll go over Joe's team real quick at the 105. We have one more pick over here. These RBs are flying off the board too because I have them all queued up. Joey D3 in the 5 spot. We're the last pick in this draft. So we end up with at least 4 people not in the buys. It's my last 3 receivers. I don't really care. I think this team's still strong. Pollard, Gibbs, Cook, Kendrick Miller, and Tajay Spears. I don't love having this amount of rookies, but Gibbs had significant draft capital, so I really consider this to only really have 2 slow starting rookies. But I still don't want to bring in like a third on top of this. Peanut Butter and Waiver says, dominant QB scoring. Raiders are ugly in 2023. Ah, man. Max Payne. Worst case. Worst case, we can do this. Again, both are bye week 13. I don't know what it is with this draft. I don't know why. This was just the draft of the bye week 13s. This has never happened. Bound to. I don't mind some of these deeper clicks as well. Eric Gray on teams that you don't have Saquon. We saw Rams re-sign Sony Michel. Let's go Zamir White here. Let's go Zamir White. Playing Indy. I don't have any correlation with it, but it doesn't matter. I think this team turned out pretty strong with the Zamir White pick. We'll see what happens with that. Tight end, we're just taking a small stance on Njoku and Kincaid's draft capital. I think it's interesting, like the statistics about rookie tight ends and how they perform their first year as a rookie, and they have so much to learn, right? They have to learn their route running, they have to learn blocking. It's a lot for rookie tight ends, and their production isn't always the best the first year. But when you take into consideration their landing spots, I mean, Buffalo and even Detroit for Sam Laporta, those are two damn good landing spots. I think everyone would agree that the scenario has to be looked at individually. Where, I mean, yes, Kincaid seems expensive. Like, I'll be the first one to tell you he seems expensive. I think you still have to mix him in, especially when it's correlated. Oh, man. Oh, no. We hit 60 likes. No. Goats is saying 60. Shot. Oh, God. Oh, we're at 61. All right. I'll grab it. Oh, no. I thought we were just going to get off easy. I thought we were going to get off easy at 59 likes. Call it a day. A couple good drafts. We're going to get in two more. So warm your fingers. I'll be right back. I'm going to get another Jaeger shot. Max Payne. All right. We got it. We got the stuff. Man. Has anyone looked? Is there coffee in this thing? We have to research this real quick. Cold brew Jaeger. How do we spell Jaeger? Thank God. It popped up. How much caffeine? 10% of what you find in a typical cup of brewed coffee. So what is a typical cup? Like 90 or 82? I shouldn't know that, but I do. So that would mean 8 milligrams. That's nothing. We're good. We'll do the Pete Overset, the what's it called? The listening thing, whatever the weird. Ooh, that had a nice pop to it. Yeah, that had a nice pop. You got to admit. Gross. Cheers, fellas. Fire. Absolute burning flames, fire down into my mouth. Oh, I might have lost my voice. Ooh, okay. ASMR. There it is. All right, completely lost the train of thought. Put it down the hatch. We're jumping in. And let's do a BBM. A single BBM. Waiting on 5 people. Absolutely throwing the crowd off their game. They're going this way. I'm going that way. I zig when they zag. We filled that fast. Reward us. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right, we get the one spot. Let me check my expose real fast for BBM. It is something that we're going to be maxing. We have 83 done so far, so we're on a really good pace, especially because we were ahead of a lot of risers. Ayuk, I mean, we're touting Tyquan Thornton. He's been a mega riser. We're sitting at 24%. So I have been slowing up on him since we already hit the good value on him. 30% Gallup. We were drafting Gallup from 170. So I am starting to pivot a little bit off Gallup, but I still don't mind his ADP. 22% Ayuk. Who am I looking at? Jefferson versus Chase. Jefferson, we're at 8%, and Chase, we're at 12%. We're an absolute spoon. We're an absolute spoon. Let's go, Chase. NF42. What's up, Nick? What's going on? Welcome to the live stream. Goats in the 5 spot. Hamlin Motorsports in the 9 spot. Batch 9. Good to see you, dude. Good to see you in the 12. I don't mind being on the back end of drafts. That's what I'm really used to. I think our least drafted position's like 7, which is probably a good thing. 7 spot seems 6 and 7 seem kind of off. Those are the positions. It's like, do I just go Diggs? Do I just go AJ Brown? But we've been pulling Lamb. We've been doing different stuff like that. Going Lamb and Pollard, I think is interesting in those spots. It's the only way you're going to get Lamb and Pollard. I mean, I guess you could do it over here, but standard, pretty standard start besides the Kelsey at the 3 spot. Kind of dropping off some value to the back end here. Cooper Kupp at 6. Tyreek at 5 is even nice. I'm hoping these two guys are just going to drop us some value on the way back around. You know, be nice to us on the back end. Probably not going to happen. Bry H said, how did I miss that? I know you've been calling out for the BBM. Amon-Ra Pollard, also a very interesting start. Thanks for bringing that up. Nice little unique start there too. Because you don't see Pollard fall to this back end, right? That's the main reason that works. And I think where I get my thought process for that is mainly from in-season battle royale tournaments where you're sort of reaching and you're pulling people into different spots. You're correlating games in different ways where, it might be a little negative EV, but 20,000 other people are not doing the same exact start as you. And that is a way to get a very fast advantage if you're right. And you typically only have to be right about that one small thing, right? Like when we won Battle Royale, it was because no one was playing Russell Wilson. And I don't blame anyone for not playing Russell Wilson. But when you correlate him and then you do a bring back on the other side and you hit on a game that blows up that other people aren't on, huge advantage. Huge advantage. You could be wrong in another position too. AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts. All right, this is going to be I think it's going to be a relatively soft room. The DJ, Chupa, well, we'll see. Chupa, CMC at 4 is not the craziest thing. But Kelsey at 3, with the assumption that he wants to go Patty Mahomes here, it would get him different at 27 if it works, which he typically does fall to that range. So as long as he doesn't go CMC. Oh! Oh, damn. The CMC Patrick Mahomes start. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. I knew that guy went rogue. I knew it. I could sense it. Wide receivers are flying off the board. Pollard off the board. Dude, what? W the fuck? Man, now I kind of wish I went Jefferson because it'd be even less of a chance that no one has this start. Now it's like hashtag don't blow it, right? So we just do something crazy like this. We just do something crazy. What just happened? Yeah, Chase over JJ. I want my JJ exposure to be at 8%, and it is, so I'm fine with it, but I am slightly Chase over JJ. More condensed offense in Cincy. Like you can think about in Minnesota, you have Hawkinson, you have the addition of Addison, you have KJ Osborne. So I do think there is a couple more receivers than Cincy has, where it's just going to be more condensed. Chase, Higgins, week 17 against KC. Chase is the KC killer. So, yeah, you saw Hawkinson's a target hog. Now, Jefferson's going to get his, and Jefferson has a great playoff schedule. It's just I want to be a little heavier on Chase than I am Jefferson. It's not a huge stance. So at pick 48 and 49, I just like to zoom ahead a little bit. And of course, people can fall to us after ADP, but just kind of mark out our next move. Okay. Duffy goes Barkley, Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce, Debo, Mahomes, CMC. Like, I don't mind this start, actually. But Kelce at 3 and then going double RB. It's painful. Painful. That's a kind way of calling them a fish. Yeah. Beat a little bit around the bush, you know? I love the Bijan Adams start. Got it twice. Yeah, it's a really nice start. Yeah, 104 spot has been taken. Jaeger bombs. A Jaeger. That's a sick flex to say you got your horns from that Denver game. Tell me you're sharp without you know. Yeah, that was a freakish game. It was a freakish game. And guess what? They play each other this year, week 17. 12 spot batch going 4 wide receivers. Does the double Jacksonville click? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I've never seen JT fall this far either. I'm so glad it's a BBM draft and not a $4 friggin' mixie. Oh, man. Very lucky. You should be more vocal about your picks for people only using audio. 100%. I'll try to improve on that. So Adams, Wilson, Calvin Ridley, and Christian Kirk. Pick 37 Kirk, where he goes at pick 48. Has he ever fallen to 60? I'll tell you his starting ADP in a second here. If you go to our Discord, link in the description, I could link it into the chat. If you go to the BestBall cheat sheet section, you zoom, you can scroll all the way to the top. JGFC tweeted out the starting ADPs for BestBall Mania. And it's just in a... so Kirk started at 55. So someone has gotten Kirk here at 60. So in BestBall Mania, I would refrain from reaching. It's basically like 2 full rounds because it's 23 picks. I think it's important to know the starting ADPs for that reason. The DJ going 1 receiver through 4 rounds. I like this room. I like this room. The problem is, yeah, we should be able to get one of these guys. So let's see what comes back to us. This is a cheat. No, it's a best ball mania. I've been seeing some far out lobbies in these cheap tourneys. Yes, actually, it's a best ball mania tournament, which is nuts. We just got into a soft room, I guess. Obviously, I'm not talking about the pounders in the chat. Goats, Batch, Hamlin. And if I didn't mention your name and you're in here, just lingering behind the shadows, reveal yourself. I would have liked Mike Willie there, but can we really complain about a pick 48 DeAndre Hopkins potential to go to Buffalo? All right, sorry, I can't hype it that much. But we are double tapping receiver here, and I'm a happy man. Sheesh. I mean, there's a couple potential spots, right? That can benefit us. KC, dark horse. Buffalo, dark horse. New England correlates with Josh Allen. So there's a couple wins in that scenario. I accidentally took some Chase and T in the same draft. I do that a lot, and I don't do it by accident. I don't think that's an accident at all. Just try to grab Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Chase is how we came in third in Alvin, Big Al on DraftKings on YouTube. Al, forget his name. His listener league tournament was a Joe Burrow, Chase, T. Higgins team. Love that stack. And not only for that reason, like it's a condensed offense, like we said. So most of the targets, or a large majority of the targets, are going to go to T. Higgins. They're going to go to Chase. So it's completely fine. I think it's also interesting going like Mahomes, Chase, T. Higgins too. And then bringing in some late KC players. I think that's another pretty cool strategy. That I think we got that in either another Chow Chow, which are the $50 drafts, or we did it in a Dalmatian, which is a $100 draft. Burrow got taken before you. Max Payne. Take Burrow at 25. Don't listen to Bry. Bry's an absolute jokester. Chase at the one spot, not to level out exposure. Actually, I guess I'm a spoon, and I have 8% Jefferson. I have 12% Chase. I just want to be a little higher on Chase than I am Jefferson for that Week 17 game against KC. More condensed offense, in my opinion, with Cincy. But yeah, like next time I'll go Jefferson in the one spot. Try to keep Jefferson at that 8% mark. But if I can get a luxury extra pick on Chase, like I'm going to do it. I can't believe I got Jonathan Taylor at pick 24. What I should have did? Just for clout. Just only reason. Go Josh Allen at pick 24. Get JT at pick 25. Raise his ADP a little bit. Big brain. All Bengals receivers have high ceilings. Yeah, I agree. Boyd's not like my favorite click, especially when T. Higgins and Chase are healthy. Like you saw, Chase missed how many games last year? 4. And Tyler Boyd, I think that huge spike week was not when Chase was out, but when they were both healthy. What would Cincy look like with KC's receivers, vice versa? Oh, God, it would be bad. Mahomes is just more of a playmaker than Burrow. He can do more on the ground with his feet. Chalk it up to the knee injury. Chalk it up to just Mahomes being a freak and just being able to extend plays. But if you give Joe Burrow Travis Kelce, right? So not just the receivers, if you switch tight ends too, you got to think like Kelce's target shares a large portion of the offense. You have to think it would be the same exact thing under Burrow. It's just they're so good at utilizing just gadget players like Jerick McKinnon in the red zone, just doing like flip passes in like just shit like that. So it's very different styled offense. These guys are just going rogue here. We are going to try to bring in Dotson for the San Fran correlation. Fuck. I was going to go Gabe with the next pick, but 7 picks before ADP. He gone. Marquise Brown. This is actually close to Marquise Brown's starting ADP. Let me give it to you. Marquise Brown started at pick 76. I mean, could do this too. Is this guy on auto? He goes Tony. Playing Philly. Let me peek something. What's Dotson starting ADP? I'm not going to be able to find it in time, am I? 89. Just for that reason, we'll go Marquise Brown here. I'm just more comfortable finding late round value at tight end. Go Miles Sanders or Dotson, to be honest. Let's go Sanders. This is going to be an exposure smooth out pick with Sanders. What did Sanders start at? He's the next person I have to find because I think, did he? Where are you at? Where did Miles Sanders start? This would be a lot easier if you guys didn't force me to take those shots. He started at 56. So we get him 17 picks after ADP based on his starting Best Ball Mania ADP. I like it. I can mess with that. Miles Sanders has been an easy click. Yeah. I mean, he's also being reunited with, is it an ex-college coach, offensive coordinator or head coach that used him in a 3-down role? Sneaky info. Very sneaky info. I just think it's so easy to find 3 tight ends that work in this range at a value without having to. Now, the Goddard pick would have been okay because I believe Goddard's ADP has fallen since the beginning. All tight ends really have. I know Kittle has fallen like 7 picks since the open of BBM. Hawkinson's closer to 10 picks. He's fallen. So let's find Goddard. Goddard started at pick 67. Oh, he falls to 81 here. He's fallen 6 picks. But to get him another 8 picks after that and to pair it with, now he doesn't have him, but that'd be pretty sick if he had Hurts. Nice start from Hamlin. We'll see what he does at QB. He has a ton of options with his receivers, right? These guys all go pretty late. We'll see if Deshaun Watson comes back to him. But if you guys are new to the channel, you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, join the Discord. We got a free draft guide, 7 pages of player write-ups, and we ranked every single player in BBM at the time when the tournament was 18% full. We had a 36% advance rate last year in all tournament play. And the Discord is just a cool place to draft with us when we're offline, not doing the YouTubes. A lot of late night drafters, and you'll see a lot of familiar faces in the Discord. It's a lot of fun. Pretty balanced build we have. We're obviously not looking to go a QB. I would be interested in bringing in like a late Purdy, perhaps. Really think he could be on like the regular season scoring winning lineups pretty easily, especially if he's ready for the start of the season. Now, Ayuk's been a mega riser. Like, he's probably risen, 14 picks since the start? Shit. He's risen 13 picks. That was really lucky of a guess. He used to go at 65. But to get D-Hop at 48, like, what was D-Hop's starting ADP? And starting ADPs aren't, like, overly important, but they do interest me. His starting ADP was 45. But all the receivers have since moved up a little bit. He's risen. He rose to 39, 38, and then he fell a little bit because it's just drafting based off news, which I actually do think is an important thing. I think there is a small edge there, and it's an important edge to draft around news. And then once that news faded out, he starts to fall a little bit. He visits the Patriots. He visits Tennessee. Now people are worried. He starts to fall a little bit, and it makes sense, though. It does. At least it correlates. I wouldn't hate something like James Conner, basically. We don't want to bring in a second QB here. Do I really want Michael Thomas or Courtland Sutton? I guess would be one of the questions. New Orleans plays who? Tampa Bay. Denver plays the Chargers. So we're not looking at any correlation coin flips. He goes Dak. Good for you. I don't click Michael Thomas a lot. That's something that you guys will learn. I'm cool with bringing Njoku into this range. I really am. It's a question of do I want to go a third RB here? This might just be a Michael Thomas click. I can't do it. I can't. I almost did it. And that's with 2 shots of Jaeger and 2 beers. I almost did it. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. We're sticking to our guns. I have huge exposure with James Conner as well. I'm right there with you. Now, their QB situation's absolutely disgusting. They have a 4.5 win total per Vegas. Not amazing. That's not great. But Colt McCoy might not even be healthy enough to start the season, so they might be running with a rookie. But if you look at the games that he played with Colt McCoy, Colt McCoy checked the ball down to him a shit ton. So even if he can get on the field, there is some pretty damn good value for James Conner. And look at his last 4 games. Draft Brian Hoyer. Jay St. Amant. You are a smart man. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Nick coming in here with a little drip of knowledge for the crowd says John Mechie, best late round pick, hands down. Heard it here first. And he's someone where it's been up and down with news about his recovery and playing. If he can get on the field for the start of OTAs, and it would be huge for him. He's been working out, which is positive, but we want to see him taking snaps. I'm right next to Justin Herzig in a Chow $50 draft. I'm in the 12 spot. He's in the 11, and we're doing completely different builds. So we've been staying away from each other, which is nice. but he did go Nico Collins 13 picks before ADP. And that was 1 pick before me. So he could have gone him after me, but he was worried that I was going to take Nico Collins. James Conner seems priced for destruction, he says. Damn. I'm on board. The upside's there. No significant draft allocation at running back for Arizona. Now, do they bring someone in? There's been some rumblings about Washington adding Kareem Hunt, which would just be so gross for Gibson. It'd be so gross for Gibson. Has Gibson been falling because of that? Or did someone already select him? He went at 105 to this team. There he is. Darker red. I saw red. Darker red. Pick 100. Yeah, I'm cool with going AJ Dillon here too. Like, I like tight ends in this range. I like QBs if they're correlated and I don't have, an expensive QB like Josh Allen. I like the RBs. Obviously, wide receiver like Tyler Boyd, Michael Thomas, Cortland Sutton. I'm trying to stay away from those players in this range. Just basically going where I think the value is and trying to hit those value pockets in those ranges. Not really thinking about the regular season prize pool when I do these. I am trying to optimize for week 17, but my guys, hashtag my guys, also happen to be, value players I think are going to rise, going to outperform their ADP. So it's kind of one and the same. And when you're correlating on top of that, you're making a bet on an offense that they have a good year. If Juju falls to us, we'll bring them in for the Buffalo game correlation. If he doesn't, it's not a huge deal. I would like a receiver, though, in this range. I don't want it to be Gallup. I don't want to reach up for Gallup, to be honest. 2 of these guys would be mint. Now we have to peek because I'm curious if we can find it in time. Nope, we can't. All right, I think I'm just double tapping here, to be honest. We get the Indy Las Vegas correlation. We get the slide on Juju. People couldn't get this price who drafted early. And people couldn't get this price on Myers, I believe, too. I believe Myers is also sliding. Let me confirm that with both of them. Juju started at pick 114, but he rose quickly to like 105 with all the other receivers. So you haven't been able to get him since early BBM Open. Open was at 114, so this is still 7 picks after. And then Myers started at what, like 115, 120. He started at 120. Okay, so that's no difference there. No. I don't even have any more. I can't take another one. I'm in my element though. Like, I don't think the alcohol is really doing much. I am the liquor. If anyone's ever seen Trailer Park Boys, I am the liquor, Ricky. Ricky, you're slurring. Get out of here. Find me one person who believes Nico Collins is the Houston wide receiver 1 if Mechie's healthy. I think the problem there is just being removed from football from a full year. I think that's where you're going to run into the problems. And if he's not healthy to start, that would be the bet on Nico Collins, right? And Justin Herzig won what? Best Ball Mania 1. So just adding it out there. Just a little note. But yeah, John Mechie, if he's healthy, pretty damn good pick. Late. Healthy, I put him over. he's probably going over right in this range. Now, healthy, and he played last year. Yeah. But not playing football for a full season will hurt you. And then a rookie QB as well. But Nico Collins starting to slip a little bit in this draft. No, we're just way ahead. Elijah Mitchell's starting to slip a little bit, which is interesting. Hamlin Motorsports says, stop the fall. Damn. That's a nice RB room from Hamlin. Wide receivers are nice. Strong at tight end. Cleveland. Wonder if he goes Conklin for the correlation for Cleveland game. That'd be nice for that team. Good. We're falling into a good range here where we did go RB here in this range where it's like, all right, well, we're going to have to catch up at wide receiver. We do that. We do get a little lucky with a couple people falling to us. And I think this is a nice value pocket for running backs like this group right here. I'm probably clicking Nico, something like this. I would do maybe a Houston double. We don't have the Tennessee bring back, but you can go like a late Tajay Spears, which would make sense with this group. Higbee. Okay. I think we just do it. I don't need to bring in Alec Pierce. It's another indie player, but I think this also makes a lot of sense. Double tap Houston. It gives us another QB option at the end here with CJ Stroud. Seven receivers. We're still pretty steady at RB. We got both of these guys at a huge value. I like the tight ends. We can go 3. Let me know in the chat, just a quick yes or no, if you think you would stop at these 2 tight ends. Yes or no? Damn it. Damn it. Okay, Mr. Leahy. Let's go. Let's go. You guys are real ones. You guys are real ones. Yeah, this is hilarious. Jay, you don't count. Number 1 wide receiver for Houston is the opponent's DBs. Okay. So a couple no's. I wonder if that's because like late, it just seems like there's so many tight ends that are just starting tight ends, right? Like you have sure points coming in. Obviously, if they can spike into your lineup over these 2, I guess it's just how high are you on your stance on these 2 tight ends. I think you can go either way. I don't really think there's a right or wrong answer with that. So we will come back around and sort of see where we're looking at for the last pick and who we think available will be able to spike into our lineups. I usually like to save that last spot for a running back. Just take a flyer on one of those upside running backs going at the end. 1 injury away from becoming the starter. Zamir White. What was that? And Zamir White doesn't even need an injury, right? Just Josh Jacobs can just hold out, which he's been tweeting some crazy stuff like, yeah, I'm going to do it for the people that come after me. Like, that reminds me. Let's check the Josh Jacobs shares, huh? Josh Jacobs. We'll start with the big board. We max the big board, 150 drafts, 6%. 267 drafts post, 5%. Okay. Super flex. I think we did like 50 on the dot. 10%. Okay. So I'm not like under 5% consistent. I like Jacobs. Like if he plays, like I have selected him when he's falling because he's falling to this range of like receivers you don't really want to pick. So it becomes a kind of like a pissing match. So I do like him in that like 32 range. I've got him at 36 before, like right after the news broke. Derek Carr, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson. I like that pairing. I like these 4 RBs that Hamlin Motorsports just picked out of the weeds. To pair with Austin Eckler too is beautiful. I really like the construction of this team. Amari Cooper. No Jets bring back yet. Kenny Pickett versus Seattle. So you got JSN, Deontay Johnson. Yeah, it's just a nice team. Real nice squad. It's coming up on us. He goes Staffy at 166. I don't really mind the construction of this team either, to be honest. Like, he started off going pretty much rogue, but 5 receivers in the next 6 rounds, which obviously he had to do. This guy's on auto, right? Okay. I think I'm comfortable with going Rashid Shaheed and being done. This could be a Khalil Shakur pick as well for correlation. Let's go Tajay here. This is going to be for the double Houston pick. We're going to try to bring in the correlation with Tennessee, Houston. Rashid Shaheed, I think I can be done at receiver and actually like my group a lot. Dawson Knox would obviously be the correlation pick, but I don't think we absolutely need him. And it would be a reach. Not a big reach. 8 picks. Not a big deal. Let's go Shaheed here. Now, the flip side, like, we can go Knox and hope to get Khalil Shakur on the way back around, but 185. We're not picking until 192, likely gone. And then we're sitting there needing a receiver and not liking what's left. So I like Shaheed. I'm really high on Shaheed this season. Derek Carr isn't afraid to throw it deep. That's what the stats say. 3 out of 150 for the big board. So Bry H is rooting for Jacobs to sit out. That's for sure. How much Zamir White do you have? Do you have any Zamir White? Now, there was unknown, right, with the big board. So, yeah, Shaheed is a top sleeper. Drewski. We've been waiting for the entrance from Drewski. Yo, Nighttime Pounders. If you guys aren't already in the Discord, link is in the chat. Free draft guide under the cheat sheet section. There's a spot for you to post your draft grades as well. Well, your drafts, we will grade them. Let's see. So what's this team need? We obviously want Stroud to come back to us. He would need to fall 2 picks, but I don't think that's a huge deal. Can he fall past this team that has Mechie? That's the only team I'm really worried about taking Stroud, or it's the only team that at least he would make sense from being taken on. Now Fields and Richardson. I'm likely stopping there. Like, I think that's plenty of capital, but people do crazy stuff. So after Stroud, I think we're 1 running back away from liking this team a lot. So that will give us a luxury pick with our last pick. That could be a bring back. with the Buffalo New England game. That could be like Hunter Henry. I don't really like. I'm fine with our receivers. Chase, DeAndre Hopkins at 48, Brandon Ayuk, Marquise Brown at 72, Juju. So already making a bet that Juju's going to be healthy. So like Parker doesn't make a ton of sense on this team. And I guess we don't need the Hunter Henry bring back having Juju. I don't feel the need to have two players in that game on the New England side. Knox goes off the board at 185. How nuts? How nuts is that? Am I the only donkey, I should say, that drafts Dawson Knox at ADP every single time? Nice. This is nice. 9% Zamir White. Looking like the clear backup too, so it's just they didn't use him a lot last year. Like Zamir White got like the same usage as like Pierre Strong Jr. So that's why it was so hard to draft Zamir White in the big board, because Josh Jacobs was potentially staying, potentially moving on. They didn't use Zamir White. So now you see Josh Jacobs is sort of in that same predicament. Is he going to hold out? Is he going to sign? Or is he going to play? And I don't think running backs really have a ton of leverage. So I'm on the side that he's playing. Whew, man, I just saw QB go off the board. Oh, man. So he actually gets Kyler at pick 190, but didn't need that fourth QB. Really didn't. This is an easy pick. Let's worry about our team. What do we need? Do we make the bet here that Dalvin Cook doesn't end up in Miami? So we get the Houston double. We have the Tennessee bring back. I don't click. I don't click Raheem Mostert really at all. Let's go Mostert one time. Pick 193. He's a common faller, so I don't really see this as like a huge win in this draft. But if we get news that Dalvin Cook goes elsewhere, his ADP is going to rise from 167, and this would be a nutty value. We do see Jeff Wilson go off the board before him, and I'm totally on board with Jeff Wilson over Raheem Mostert, but not 23 picks before. We're definitely done at running back, especially because you're drafting with the narrative that you're right. So Dalvin Cook in this team, and even if he did go to Miami, like we still have enough carries to get us through to potentially at least advance. So what helps us? The question we got to ask ourselves is what helps this team the most? Right? Obviously, not a QB. Not going to help us. A running back, Taylor, Miles Sanders, AJ Dillon, Spears, Raheem Mostert, potentially. I could be talked into taking a running back with, an RB2 on a team. One of these guys. Maybe Israel Abanikanda beats out Zonovan Knight. Dwayne McBride maybe beats out Ty Chandler. Zamir White. There's a couple options to happen there. But yeah, you also have Michael Carter there and for the Jets. So there is a couple more heads for the Jets. Receiver. Chase, Hopkins, Ayuk, Brown. Like these are spike week guys. Spike week. Juju, I mean, we don't know what Juju is. Juju's hurt. Spike week guy, Rashid Shaheed. Nico Collins. like pretty good A dot, average depth of target. So considered spike week guy. White or Ingram. Yeah, I'm on the side of going running back here, but I'm also on the side of maybe Derrick Henry gets traded, right? And it doesn't have to be right away. Maybe by the deadline. Tajay Spears wins the job over what? Hassan Haskins? Is that who's there? Haskins. Maybe Dalvin Cook doesn't go to Miami, and this team doesn't need that extra spot at running back. Four QBs. Deuce Vaughn, 20 picks before ADP. Hyped. This dude's hyped up. This dude's hyped up. Like, I do think you can get the biggest spike weeks from the running backs at the end. So I am siding with that pick. I think we have plenty of receivers. Like, I don't think we get a boost from there. Let's go Hunter Henry. Let's draft like we're right at running back, and we'll go Hunter Henry. Another bring back for New England, that Buffalo game. I just think we get more points. Like, what gives us the higher upside, right? I think that's Hunter Henry. You can easily have a game where Josh Allen spreads the ball to multiple receivers, to running backs, rushes for 1, potentially 2 touchdowns, and he doesn't elevate a single receiver on his team. I mean, that's what this narrative is for this team, because we got sniped on Gabe Davis 7 picks before ADP. Sometimes it's going to happen. But guys, thanks for coming out with us. If you guys haven't already, on the way out, if you enjoyed the stream, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you guys are new to the Pound. Join us in the Discord, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for coming out. Peace, Pounders.